We have Dennis Moffet today. He is the Uncoach.
Thank you, sir. I hope you all don't mind if I sit during the presentation. It saves my back. How many of you can share your journey in 6 minutes? Good luck, right? Yeah, if you can, you don't have much of a journey. We'll work on that. I am the uncoach. Why? I do things unconventionally, unnormal, unnatural most of the time. I don't coach by typical standard methods. And the brunt of my coaching is about life issues. So I wanted to ask you, how many of you ever been in darkness in your life, in your soul, in your spirit, however you feel, however you want to express it? You've experienced darkness in your life. I've experienced a lot of darkness in my life. As Samantha mentioned a few minutes ago about Danny and Suzanne, I also had another friend in our Rotary Club who suddenly passed without any warning. And a cousin in Arizona just suddenly passed. His wife tried to revive him and was unsuccessful. So it's been an interesting couple of months in dealing with death. But darkness in my life, I've done so many things where I failed. I have succeeded at some things, but I failed at, I would say, way too many things. But the blessing that came out of that, because I will use scripture at times, if that's all right with everybody. And in Romans chapter 8, it tells you that whatever darkness, whatever bad things going on in your life, God will take that and using His miraculous power, turn it around and create something stupendously, awesomely good beyond anything you can imagine. And that's in Romans chapter 8, if you care to ever look it up. And so in my life, with all the bad things that have happened, and death, and broken relationships, and lost money, and failed businesses, and you name it, I've been able to find success in different places because of being able to find the path that I needed to walk down. I've done some despicable things in my life, but I've also done some great things in helping people and helping other people achieve things and find out exactly who they are. And that's the biggest issue, I believe, for every human being, is everybody has an identity crisis, is they don't know who they are. And that's one of the things I help people do, is discover exactly that. Because until you learn that, you're going to be marginally successful at best in any area of life because you don't know who you are. Knowing who you are is paramount to just about anything in any part of your journey. And if you understand who you are, and most people that I've talked to are really disappointed, disconnected, they don't like who they are. And there's no reason why you shouldn't like who you are, because you are a unique individual with unique gifts and talents that no other person on the planet has. And anytime you're trying to be somebody else, you're making a huge mistake, because only you can be you. And you're the only one who can do you successfully. And I like to help people do that and be successful at what they are. It doesn't matter. I know good business coaches, and I know at least 2 of them sitting in this room that will help you with your business and help you manage certain things. That's fine, that's great. You need that. I'm not that kind of a coach. I deal with heart issues, okay? Issues, what you really believe in your heart and your soul. What do you believe? And the problem I find with most people that want to change and want to find out who they are, where they are, want to be somewhere where they really feel like they're being fulfilled and living a full life, is they have heart issues, and they don't even know they have those heart issues. But the biggest issue that I sit down and talk with people from the beginning is, what is your commitment to achieve what it is you want to achieve? You want to be the greatest videographer, in the country, and Andrew's exceptionally good, but if he doesn't know that, and he doesn't know how to become that just based upon who he is, how good is he going to be? How good are you going to be? Wherever you are, wherever you want to be, what's your commitment level? And I give people a scale of 1 to 10. 1 meaning, I'm going to eat my chips and watch the game. Screw it, I'm not going to do it. 10 meaning I'll sweat blood to get it. Where are you? Just rhetorically asking that question, where are you right now? to get where you want to be, where are you? What's your number? 6, 7, 8, 9. I had people confess, oh, I'm only a 4. Okay, fine. You're not really committed to it then. No worries. That's your life. But where are you? If I could go over, I would say I'm an 11. Absolutely, totally, 100% committed to get where I want to be who I want to be, do what I want to do. And I'm doing it because I can. And so can you. And again, because I'm the uncoach, I do things unconventionally. What does that mean? You'll have to come to me and find out. There's business cards and pens on the table. If you want one of those awesome pens, great. If there's 2 of you at the table and one of you's grabbing the pen first and the other one wants one, I do have a few extra. And I think there's a couple other tables. Anyway, the end of my 6 minutes is coming. I think it's probably here. She's giving me the cutthroat sign.
Awesome. Thank you, Dennis. All right, so now we have 20 minutes of Q&A. I think we're just going to leave the microphone up here and you just shout it out.
Ask away.
Here we are.
Tell us about some of the people that you coached. What did you help them kind of coach through or get through?
One of the biggest issues, like I mentioned in the beginning, is identity. It doesn't matter. Okay, if you want a business coach, like I said, there's 2 of them sitting here in the room, and I'd be glad to tell you who they are, later. If you don't know who you are, it's going to be tough. And so some of the people have been able to find out exactly who they are, and that gave them, a direction in life. It helped them understand where they were going, and then it started opening doors in their heart and mind of how to get there. They could start seeing the path. Before that, they can't see it. Any of you ever you said you've experienced darkness in your own life, so you've been lost before? And I'm not talking about the biblically spiritual lost. I'm talking about whatever direction, whatever goal you're trying to do, you can't seem to get there. Right? So you want to get there. People find their way when they're shown how. It's easy. It really is. But we have to have a change of heart to do it. Did that help?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to name specifics. I'm not going to name people specifically.
No, I absolutely would not want you to.
No.
Talk, some of the struggles that maybe was it, drug
Okay,
abuse,
one of the biggest issues for people is marital struggles. I won't ask for anybody to raise a hand, but how many of you have been married more than once? Okay, those people, raise your hands anyway. That's okay. Several times for myself. So not only financial difficulties, but also relationship difficulties. Marriages, relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, live-ins, whatever you want to call it, whatever it looks like to you. Being able to find out that you don't have to live that way, that you can actually, find true joy and happiness in the relationship you're in, provided both of you want to do that. Remember, it does take 2 to dance, okay? The tango. If you're not, then you may have a decision to make. If that person doesn't want to play, then you may have to make a decision. I don't advocate divorce, but if 2 people are killing each other, then you probably should get one and get away. And then get healed, and then try to find somebody else that's healed. Yes, sir?
Dennis, does your referencing yourself as the uncoach imply that there's something inherently wrong with the not uncoaches?
No, sir. It just means that I am unusual. That's it, just different. It doesn't mean all other coaches, they have their thing, their shtick, whatever. God bless them. There's a lot of life coaches in this town. I've met several of them. They can do things that I can't do. I can do things they can't do. You, Mr. Frank, can do things other coaches can't do. You do things in a unique, special way that is unique to you. Does that make you a better coach than everybody else? No, sir. It makes you a different coach. You're going to work for some people. Some people, they're not going to like the way you coach, so they won't want you. Some people will like the way I coach, some people don't. I'm okay with that. If they don't like it, fine. I will help you find another coach that you can work with. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been doing this,
I've been the Uncoach for about 15 years. I've done a lot of counseling and mentoring and ministering and things like that for better than 40 years.
What other realms have you been in?
I was an associate pastor of a church in the 80s in Riverside, California for 10 years. Spoke from the stage quite often, counseled people, married people, didn't divorce any of them. Just the one I was with, but anyway. I've taken counseling classes and trainings. I don't have a degree in that, but one of the things that I tell people is I really believe that I'm a good coach because I know what not to do. I've made all the mistakes. Trust me, just all of them. Yes, ma'am.
Who's your ideal client? Who do you just love working with and helping?
Somebody that really, truly wants to change in their life. Some people say they want to change, but they don't have the commitment level. Because when I mentioned the numbers 1 to 10, and what was a 10? Do you remember?
The 10 was.
Anybody? Sweat blood to get it. How many of you are willing to do that to achieve your goals, whether they be business, personal, or whatever, that you're a 10? And I'll explain to you why not a 9. Anybody in here would be an 8 or a 9? Anybody? Okay. If you come to me and you want me to coach you, and we're going to have this conversation, okay, and you tell me you're a 9 and you're patting yourself on the back and you're feeling all noble, that's great, that's good. It's a lot better than, a 4, okay? But to me, that's not good enough because that means you have a 10% out.
But I would beg to differ. I'm sure Frank would say that 10s would be his ideal client. What's the differentiator? Like, give me more than that.
Okay, if I'm coming to you and you say, well, I want you to help me with this or that, okay, fine. Again, we're going to talk about that commitment level. If you're not 100% in, it's going to get hard one of these days. Any other coaches notice things like that with your clients? It gets hard sometimes. Okay, it gets hard in your business and you have decisions to make that maybe you don't want to make, that are uncomfortable, go beyond uncomfortable, especially personal decisions, and you're facing personal issues, whether they be growths or failures, or where you let yourself down or you let somebody else down, or you really, really hurt somebody, and you've got some really broken heart issues, and you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to look at that and face that. And the reason most people don't change is they don't want to face the pain.
And do you help them face that?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Sorry,
No, that's quite all right. If you've ever heard of something called heart physics, if anybody's ever heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, typical things like that where you can use meditation and there's different ways to use it, you can reprogram your brain. Did you know that?
Yes.
You can reprogram your mind. And if you haven't learned that you can and how to do that successfully, then that's something to learn. And those are some of the exercises and things that I help people with to learn how to reprogram, especially your heart. It's not just your brain. Your mind and your brain are not the same thing, okay? To reprogram your heart, okay? There's more neurons in your physical heart than there are in your brain. Do you know that? Okay? So we reprogram what you believe. Because what you believe at a heart level, see, not everybody lives what they profess. They profess things and don't actually live it, but everybody lives what they believe. So if what you're living is not working and you want it different, then we have to examine what you believe and change that. And it can be changed. It's changeable.
It's a
Yes, ma'am.
difference between emotion and logic.
Partly. There's a lot more to it than that, but yeah, that's going in the right direction. We're not just going to deal with emotion. Emotion will confuse the heck out of you if you haven't noticed. Any guys ever fallen for a girl and lost your mind? Okay? Girls, that's what happens. They just lose the mind. Yes, Samantha.
You sort of answered it already, but that's one question I like to ask coaches is who is your coach? Who is your mentor, and who do you emulate?
One of my best coaches, I'll point out, is this young lady right here, is Danielle. There are times when I turn to my wife for certain things, and there's times when I'll turn to a friend, like Mr. Tim and his wife Brownie. She's the good-looking one at the table, obviously. I use different mentors and different coaches, if you will, at different times, depending on who I'm around, what I need, because everybody in here has different gifts and talents, right, Frank? Okay? I can go to you, Samantha, for some things as a friend, and we can hug and talk and be friends and gain a lot from that. But there's other things that I need that I can't get from you that I got to go find another friend. You need more than one friend. You need more than your spouse for friends, because if you just keep your spouse as your friend, you're going to run out of stories one of these days. You need more stories, so you got to go find different friends. If I want to pick on somebody, I go see Tim, and I always feel better about myself. So that's always good. So. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What brought you to Colorado Springs?
A negative relationship, actually. I wanted to get out of California. I really did for a long time. And most of you know why now. But I did. I didn't like it. The crowds, the traffic, the smog, people here don't know what smog is. We see the smoke from a fire. Okay, try doing that every day. I mean every day. 365. And I wanted to come here, and there was an opportunity, even though the relationship wasn't what it should be, and within a few months that relationship no longer existed. And so, but I'm glad I'm here, and all intentions of staying. I love Colorado Springs. People talk about the crazy weather. I love it. I enjoy it because it's always a surprise. You never go in and get. Oh my gosh, what's the weather going to be like today? I don't know. Look outside.
Wait 5 minutes.
Right. Anyway, so that's why I'm here, and I love it here. I've been here for 3.5 years, and I know hundreds of people because I know how to network and I know how to meet people. And if I can't help you, if you have a problem, an issue, or whatever, I know where to refer you. You need to go talk to this person. Here's resources for that. I can't do everything, and I'm not even going to try. I learned that a long time ago, and it hurts if you do try. You hurt yourself. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What's been your biggest success, without giving names, but a specific story that you've encountered either as the uncoach or in your journey up to that point?
Does me count?
Does what?
Does me count?
Sure.
My biggest success would be myself.
I would agree with that.
I'm still here. Thank you, but the things that I've overcome, like I said, I've been in despicable places, done despicable things in my life. And if you want to talk about that privately, we can. This is not the venue for talking about that openly. But I have confessed things openly. I've gone to other people. I have 3 pastors in town that I would confess anything to because I trust them that much. So myself is the biggest success.
How has your growth impacted your coaching?
I feel a lot more confident in what I'm saying to people and what I'm doing, and that I know how to help them without being like a know-it-all, or like I've got it together. I don't have it together. People say, well, I've got it all together. Anybody who says that is very deluded, very much so, okay? But in being able to help other people is because a lot of times I know how that feels. And there's a lot of things, maybe you've done some stuff, or you've been places, or you've been in seriously hard, broken relationships, and that hurts. What do you do about that? How do you recover from that? I've got a long list of things to recover from in multiple marriages. If you've been married 2, 3, 4, 5, if you've done the Mickey Rooney, if any of you are old enough to remember Mickey Rooney, he was married like 10 times. Liz Taylor, 9 times or something. If you've done that, how do you stop it? What do you do? I know what to do because I've been there, I've done that, I've stopped it. I know other things how to get free from. How many of you ever been, and I can guarantee you most of you in here already still are, addicted to something? Anybody ever been addicted to something, whether it be drugs, alcohol, porn, TV, gambling? How many of you would not admit to being addicted to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Tumblr or whatever site you happen to spend most of your time on, or the television? How many people spend an average of 5 to 6, 7 hours a day watching TV? I haven't watched TV in over 12 years. I read 2 to 3 books a week. That's not a brag. I was born practically reading. My mother read to me from an infant, and I could talk at 7 months and read at the Bible at 3, age of 3. And I still read a lot, and I learn a lot. Why? To be a snob? No. So I know more to be able to help more people because I've been down that path. I know what it feels like. I know what a drug addict feels like coming off of heroin. I know what an alcoholic feels like who can't put the bottle down and will drink himself to death, because I've been addicted to things that I couldn't put down, but I finally found the freedom and I found the path. And I will only say that at the time it was harder than hell, and I came out on the good side. And so I help other people come out. Yes, sir.
Dennis, helping somebody who's got that perfect goal that they're gonna go for and they're gonna go at it at 10. My experience talking to people is most people don't have that burning goal and they kind of muddle through just kind of making things day to day. So do you see that as well? And if so, how do you help them find that burning desire, that thing that is going to be their guiding light?
No, I do see that. I see that a lot. I saw it in myself for many years. Do I really have the desire to do this? And for a lot of years, it wasn't enough. In my personal conviction, if you're not at 10, you can stand a good chance of not achieving it. Now, some other coaches may feel differently. That's fine. I'm not going to debate that with anybody. But if you don't have that, if you think, well, I'm at an 8, and can I get to a 10? Yeah, you can. And I'll help you get there. I'll show you how to get there if you really want to. Now, do you want to stay at an 8? Okay, fine. Not a problem. I'm telling you my personal convictions as a coach, as having these life experiences. If you leave an out, it's going to get so hard one day. You're going to be so tempted to take that out. The question is, will you? Or will you not? That's what you have to answer.
So we have time for one more question before our super special question. Who would like to take it? All right, let's just do the special question then. Who wants to ask our super special question today? Greg.
What can we do as the Colorado Springs business community to support you?
Good question.
I understand it's the same question every week, so anyway, doesn't matter. Referrals are always the best, right? You like referrals, I like referrals, but how do you refer? Because she asked a question earlier, what's a really good client? You see somebody struggling, you know somebody who's struggling with life in general. You see somebody struggling in relationships. You see somebody struggling financially. You see somebody struggling with their business. And they feel great angst or anguish, and I mean, they're sweating BBs, and they don't know what to do about it, and they're wringing their hands. That's a very good potential referral right there. Does that help?
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
sir.
sharing your story. Oh, before you leave, we have one thing for you.
The cup.
A cup.
The grand cup.
Yes, super special,
Awesome.
exclusive cup.